Hello and welcome to Bears TV, to the Redcar Rewind. Redcar Agelia Bears 48, the Scunthorpe Scorpions 42. Don't think that really tells the story, does it?
Yeah, I can breathe now. No, a bit hoarse in the voice and everything. It was really close. It was nip and tuck. They're always good here, and there was no difference tonight. They certainly give a really good a good meeting.
They'll be real playoff contenders as well as the Bears, you would assume, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, they'll be up. They'll be up there. Don't forget we've got them in the cup, haven't we? Semi-finals of the cup as well, so that'll be another cracking meeting. But yeah, they always come here and do well. Simon Lambert really likes the place. Ryan Douglas is brilliant here. Connor Mountain today rode like a heat leader. To be fair, I don't think they really missed Palmtoft because I think the way Mountain rode, Jake Allen had another cracking meeting here as well. No, I think to be fair, we scraped over the line, but we had positives as well.
Just from that, RR returned 7. Would you not say that Michael Palmtoft would probably score 8 or 9 at least around Redcar?
He hasn't been as dominant the last couple of times when he's been here, so he probably maybe 8 or so. So, but obviously, Connor Mountain wouldn't have then had as many. So I don't think, to be fair, on the night, I don't think rider replacement really hindered them too much.
Right, as we always, we'll go through the Bears and speak a little bit about the opposition. Don't think we're going to catch anything from the opposition tonight. I think they've all scarpered off home. Fair enough, they've got a bit of a travel. So, Danny King, 7, including a tapes exclusion. So, Danny had a tough one, came off in his opener when he looked like he was going to get round them, and then had a win in the second. So, a steady night's work for Mr. King.
Yeah, Danny's Danny. He always beats himself up. He wants to score maximums everywhere he goes, and that's the type of rider he is. He's absolutely, ultimate professional. Heat 13, I think he knew he had probably the worst gate. I don't think anybody, I think one race win came from Heat Grade 1, and it was dry. So, yeah, I think he knew he had to make it very, very, and yeah, he just went a little bit before the tapes went.
Correct. 1 win from Gate 1. Do you know who it was?
No.
Charles Wright.
Was it? Yeah.
In heat number 7. Mm-hmm. So, Daniel Hume, 4+1. I'll probably say this for Jason Edwards as well. He rode for more. He rode for less points than he was actually worth tonight, you would say, because he's near them boards like Charles is.
He was in the mix all the time, wasn't he? I think he got done a little bit in heat 10. Was it Lambert who passed him? Because he was in third and then he got passed. I think it was Simon Lambert passed him. But Lambert's no slouch around here. He loves this place. Actually, probably had his worst meeting here for a while. So Danyan, yeah, heat 1, he got found out a little bit. But he did his normal, his second and third rides. He normally, you can I guarantee he'll get there. And yeah, no qualms at all about his performance tonight.
Connor Bailey. Now, if we rewind this back to the Pool League match, the Pool BSN Series match, it was a lot of people online. Yeah, he's not very good. Let's get rid of him. And if we would have done that, we'd been left with egg our faces now because Connor Bailey 8+2.
Connor's absolutely on a crest of a wave, confidence-wise. The under-21 showed that final in the under-21 when he came from 4th to 1st. He trusts his equipment, he trusts his bike. I've just been speaking to his mum there. He's riding with a smile on his face. He's loving Speedway. He's loving Speedway here at Redcar, which is great. And that a happy rider produces a good rider. And I think you can see now how far he can really come on. And he could be an absolute trump card for us come the end of the season.
There's a little bit of a history. When every time I don't attend an individual meeting where we have Redcar representatives, they win. I've told Eric this, I didn't go to when Eric won it at Sheffield because I didn't think Eric would win. And Charles got ruled out with concussion, so I didn't go. I was going to go to Glasgow, but I didn't go because of the weather this time, and then he won. So maybe all individual events I stay away.
Probably the best. To be fair, I was absolutely devastated. I was gutted I didn't go because we're supposed to have Scunthorpe Friday and Saturday, and I thought Sunday, and the weather wasn't great. And it wasn't until about 10 o'clock Sunday morning I sat and I thought, I should really have gone to Glasgow. I should go to support the pair of them. And then when Connor won, I was a little bit gutted that I wasn't there to sort of celebrate with him. But yeah, he's just on, as I say, going over. He's on a crest of a wave at the minute. He's doing brilliant.
Right, about 9 different teams.
He's a busy lad, isn't he? Luckily, he's got a full-time mechanic now, which I think will take a lot of the burden off him doing his bikes, etc. Because he still goes to college as well. I think he's an A-grade motor mechanic student or something. He's he's top of the class. So that and riding in Poland and Workington and Redcar and Bellevue. Honestly, these kids, I don't know where they get the energy. I honestly don't.
Was that the gentleman who was with him this evening?
Yes, Matthew. Yeah, he's worked for Richie Worrell before. He's worked for a couple of really good He's spot on. He's the one who does the polishing and stuff. So everything's always immaculate.
Eric Riss, 11 plus 2. Another one where people were thinking, is Eric ready for Speedway at the moment? Is Eric supposed to be on a bike? Is Eric good enough to be riding at this level at the moment? Obviously, he's good enough as we look normally, but he has been suffering in the Premiership, but 11 plus 2 suggests otherwise.
Eric's, he'll admit, he's complex. He overthinks a lot of things, Eric. So when things start, maybe he's not going as well as they should be. You know, he does think a lot about it. Now, obviously, he had his problems at the beginning of the season, but he's completely over them. His engines haven't been like he likes them. The Ipswich track isn't how he likes it. I think it's just an amalgamation of things. But I looked at him at Bellevue on Monday night, and I know he only scored about 1+1 or whatever, but he was mixing it all the time. He just didn't have the speed down the straights, and Bellevue is notorious for finding you out if you haven't got the speed. Nothing to do with you as a rider, it's if you haven't got the speed. So to be fair, I came here tonight quietly confident that Eric could do it because he was making great starts at Bellevue. I talked to Judith and Jeff a lot, who look after him when he comes over here, and me and Judith sort of messaging all the time about how he's doing, and I message Eric all the time, and we've kept on top. And today, just proves, you know what I mean. Give him a racetrack, give him a bike that works, give him a bit of confidence, and this is Eric. Eric is back, definitely.
I think that one of the highlights in the pits earlier was Eric going around the pits offering people grapes.
Yes, I even took a couple as well. Very nice. Jamie didn't because he wants pies instead of grapes. But there you go.
Well, the official quote was, "You don't get this figure by eating grapes."
Yeah, I'll say no more. I want my job to stay for a little bit longer, thanks.
Isn't a job where you get paid?
That's true, yeah. So I'll
volunteering opportunity.
I'll keep me volunteering opportunity, yeah.
All right, moving down the line to Charles Wright. Charles Wright, 13. Was that right? Yes, it is. Only beaten in Heat 13. Another top performance from the skipper. May have been beaten in 15 if it wasn't for Ryan Douglas's breakdown.
I'm not too sure. He was right on the back of Ryan Douglas. And I don't know if Ryan maybe had a little bit of a bike bother before he went, but Charles was on a charge. He'd sort of come past Eric, and I think the next person he was going past was Ryan. But Ryan's brilliant round here. We know he is. But Charles, yeah, another skipper's performance. Got a bit of a on his terms, a duff gate in 13, and when you got out and you got your wheels in line, like Jake and Ryan showed how fast they could, and he just couldn't make it up, But yeah, top skipper's performance as usual. It's what we expect from Charles.
At that point, when Douglas is still in front and Charles is chasing him, as a team manager, are you thinking, just stay where you are because we've won the match at this stage?
Yeah, I had said before the race started, the 3s each is fine. The bonus point was out the way, so the 3s each was fine. And then when they were swarming all over the back of him, you're like, yeah, it's great but just settle. You know what I mean? It's like, this is simple, but yeah.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely, they're racers at the end of the day. They're 100% racers. So yeah, it was brilliant, fantastic.
Moving down the line to the overworked Jason Edwards with paid 6 from about 34 rides.
It's tough on Jason. He's struggling a little bit at the moment. He's making some good starts. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was in point scoring positions a few times and just let it slip on the third lap and whatever. And I guess he probably is missing not being the rising star at Kingsland now, just for more matches. So he's been travelling. This is Jason, travels across to the Isle of Wight and rides in their matches. And they cost him money. He doesn't make any money out of it. The wages is rubbish, but it's just to stay on the bike.
Let's just say putting not to put down other teams, it's just a means to an end, and that's the way they work.
Yeah, it's amateur speedway at the end of the day. You know, it's not championship level. They're running amateur speedway. They do a great job at what they do, but obviously they can't pay big money because you know that's what it is. But he still goes. He still travels across, and just to stay on the bike. And then, as I said, it ended up that he had 4 on the trot at the end with Danny moving in heat 13. The idea not putting Danny on 15 was because Charles would have had to move to gate 1, and gate 1, as we've seen, it was a graveyard. It was literally a graveyard all day. So I didn't want Charles moved to 1 because Danny would be off 3 but 15 metres behind. And I just thought, as it happens, but that was the idea of putting Jason in there and not keeping Danny on 15.
Before I move on to that Heat 14 performance from Jason, is there, for the fans out there watching, is there any reason why Gate 1 was such graveyard, as you call it, tonight?
I don't know. You know what it is? Johnny does an amazing job on the track. Like the track tonight was fantastic. I think it had dirt, it had line, it had inside, it had outside. I think it was perfect. We don't know. He does the starts the same, but tonight, for some reason, Gate 2 and Gate 4, I don't know how many won off 3. I think there was only probably about 2 or 3 from Gate 3, was there? One. There you go. 1 from Gate 3 and 1 from Gate 1.
It's not really great, is it?
No.
Obviously, it can't be helped sometimes.
No, it just happens, But we want to rectify it. We want Redcar track is renowned to be fair, and this is why teams like Scunthorpe come and ride so well here. It does work against with times, but we want a fair track, so we'll look into that. I know Gate 1 was drier than the rest. Maybe 1 needed a bit more water. But as I say, take nothing away from Johnny. He does a fantastic job. So, but we need, we just need them to be level, because riders are getting in their heads now. It's like, oh, I'm on Gate 1, oh no, and that's what you don't want. You don't want them thinking that way.
So moving on to that Heat 14 performance, at one stage, Lambert and Mountain were queuing up behind him, and it was looking like we could have a 3-all and Scunthorpe will still be in the lead. But he came true, and he really rode a sensible race, and then kind of got away from him towards the end.
He did, yeah. He came under a lot of pressure to start with, didn't he? But this is where Jason, he comes across as this smiling, happy, but there's nobody can be as ruthless as Jason when he wants to be, and I think that Heat 14 just showed the determination. He'd made a really good start in 13, I think. He'd gone elbow to elbow with Douglas, I think, and I think that gave him the confidence in 14 that actually I can make a really good start, and he did. And I think Mountain got underneath him at one stage, didn't he? But he sort of powered back around him, and then he clamped him down. It was like, you're not doing that a second time. I fell for it the first time. That isn't happening again. And to be fair, I know you'd still be sitting there disappointed in his performance, but that was a match-winning ride at Heat 14.
I think he might have got a level. I don't know if he got past. We'll have to watch it back. But yeah, he did. Oh, yes. Jason, I know it's tonight. I don't know whether it was just me that seemed to be using the outside a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's Danny's been trying to get him to let the bike run. What Jason does, he loves the inside and he keeps it tight. But the problem is here, you get the speed coming out of 2 to go into 3. So you've got to let the bike run further. And if you're starting to turn tighter, you scrub your speed off. So I think he always listens, and Danny's fantastic, and Charles, telling them just let the bike run a little bit more. And I think there was a couple of times when he was like an inch off the fence, and you go, Jason, you're not normally out there. But I think he showed in the under-21s. He rode quite a bit at Glasgow out, and he's learning. And this is all we ask is, he's learning. He knows what he's doing wrong, and he's trying to put it right. He's not just keeping on the inside. He is trying to get out there where the dirt is.
You'd rather have a rider like that than a rider who thinks they are the bees and knees already, and they may score 2 or 3 more points than Jason at the moment, but you'd rather have a rider like Jason who will ride for the team, he'll listen to what you're saying, and he's going to come good in the end.
Absolutely. There's too many of these people who think they're superstars already, and that they're literally just dipping their toe in the sport. But Jason, he listens, he learns, you know what I mean? He takes on board. And yeah, he puts in performances. Yeah, tonight, he had a few last places, but then he comes out in 14 and does that, and he never lets his head get down. He gets angry, believe it or not. I know you always smile, but he gets angry, and he's angry with himself and frustrated with himself, but he never lets it boil over into petulant tantrums. He just focuses on the next race, and then, as you say, 14, he comes out and does that and wins a match for, basically.
There's quite a few petulant tantrums in cycle speedway, isn't there?
I wouldn't know what you're on about. Let's move on.
And moving on to our guest for the evening, our guest for the next few matches at least, Luke Harrison, who got the solitary point. But I said to Luke earlier, I don't know if you'll go along with this, you now is what Jake was at the start of the season.
Exactly. And Luke knows there is zero pressure on him from ourselves. He's learning his trade, like Jake was learning his trade. And we've already worked, Danny's been out with him there working after the meeting, because if you watched after the second bend, Luke never got any further behind. Literally, it was just from the start to the first bend where he was losing it. And now Danny's been out, he's done 2 practice starts, and Danny's found the problem straight away. And they've been chatting about it, and hopefully Luke learns from that. And then next week he comes and he gets a bit better. But there's zero pressure. It's all about a learning curve, as you say, Jake. And look what Jake was like just before he got injured. He was banging in 6s and 7s. So no reason why Luke can't do the same. He's a skillful little rider when you watch him. He's his style is perfect. He looks fast on the bike, really fast. He just needs to get to that first bend with them, and I think he'll come good.
2 more things before we pack this up. An update on Jake Mulford. I did speak to Jake the other day, and his appointment he had on Tuesday at the hospital went well. We're looking to see him back in August, I am led to believe.
Yeah, he's got about 4 weeks left. He's got a plaster cast on for 4 weeks, and then he can start walking on it. And when he starts walking, basically he says that's when he can start riding. It's plated and screwed anyway, so it's fixed in a way. It's just get the swelling down. He's got a couple of little breaks, I think, in the metatarsals, but they don't need operating or anything. So basically, hopefully, he'll be back in about 4 weeks.
4 months for a footballer.
Yeah, well, they're soft, aren't they?
Don't get me started. And then after a man of the match from the Scunthorpe side on in your eyes, there's I'd say Jake Allen's probably had his best performance since he left Redcar, but then Connor Mountain rode superbly. So, man of the match from you for the Scorpions?
I would say Connor Mountain, definitely. Jake, you would expect. Jake's a good rider. He likes this place, he likes a racetrack. Ryan Douglas, Ryan's Ryan. He must have about an 11-point average here, I would imagine. He never drops that many points. But tonight, I think the difference for them was Connor Mountain, who was on about a 4-point something average. And what did he get? 12 or something? 40, there you go. So that was the big difference. Connor was fantastic tonight.
Right, thank you very much, Gavin Parr, for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. Next up, it's the Bears versus the Cheetahs. John Jenkins and Louis Kerr potentially back at the home of the Bears. And then the Bears travel up to Berwick. Are you seeding duties for that one and Jade Mudgewiz taking over?
No, I've got an unbeaten run there as well, don't forget.
Unbeaten run. Thank you very much.